The hunt for Red October begins in Philly while Zach Wheeler would try to submarine the Mets' miracle run with Kodai Senga looking to leave Phils fans like they've seen a ghost. Call Kyle Schwarber the ghost hunter. 700-foot home run to get it started. It's 1-0 early, and it's 1-0 late. Zach Wheeler, 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, 0 runs, 9 Ks. Peterson and Garrett combined for 5 innings pitched, 0 earned runs. In the top of the 8th, hope is a dangerous thing. 5 Mets reach base with 2 strikes, and the first 2 Mets outs in the innings were sac flies. 5 runs in the 8th, and they hawk 201 in the 9th. Senga to Peterson to Garrett to Maton to Stanek. Mets win Game 1 in Philly, 6-2 final. Who are these guys, and what have they done with the Mets?
I'm just getting some notes finished.
You're a notes man, Trev. It's insane, dude. It's insane.
They are the comeback kids. That's who they are. I have I was reading as I was prepping here. I was reading one of the MLB articles, and I don't know who wrote it. I'm sorry. Should I go look it up? It's just
we'll
stats.
Get there, yeah.
We'll get there. It's talking about what the Mets have done within the span of a week. Game 1 of the doubleheader against Atlanta, they were 3 for 24 before erupting for 8 runs on 8 hits in the 8th and 9th. 3 days later, in the wild card series, Game 3 in Milwaukee, the Mets were 2 for 26 over the first 8 innings before Pete Alonso launched a 3-run home run. And then today, they were 1 for 21 in 7 innings off Wheeler before going 7 for 11 with 6 runs the rest of the way. That doesn't make any sense, dude.
Trev, you know,
you are just getting crushed. And like, I get like today was different because you get Wheeler out, and then all of a sudden it just feels like, Wainwright was talking about that. Like, doesn't matter who's coming in after him, get that guy out of there, and you just feel like, okay, it's someone different. It's going to help me. The rest of the games weren't like that. The other 2 games weren't like that. So one of the games we were facing Devin freaking Williams. The other one was Raisel Iglesias. It's crazy.
Raisel, Devin, Jeff Hoffman was an all-star. I know he doesn't maybe have the sex appeal of those
and
other
so was
2.
Matt Strom.
Like, Jeff Hoffman in 66.1 innings had 89 strikeouts this year. Like, and the bigger thing, it's what you just mentioned. When someone like Zach Wheeler's being Zach Wheeler, it's where taking pitches and battling matters. Because if Zach Wheeler gets an 8th inning in this game, the Mets might lose this game. And we might be talking about how good he is, and Philly wins 1-0 or 2-0 or whatever it is. And instead, we're not telling that story. We're telling the story of this Mets team that has no fear in the 8th or 9th inning. Like, nothing is daunting to them. And they are, if you did scariest teams to play in the playoffs right now, like, the Mets are oddly high on that list because they're just never out.
Agreed. I also think Cleveland is like the scariest psycho team. Like,
Cleveland has something.
Like, it's the neighbor next door that you don't know is weird. And then after the fact, you find out, wow, that guy is very weird. But we're not there yet.
We have a guy, Tech Mike, who works at our office. He's awesome. He's an electric human being. He's electric at his job. He's just electric. Kind of new to baseball, but he dove full in this year, and it's been incredible to just see how he processes the game. And he kind of said exactly what he's just like, why aren't people talking more about Cleveland? We'll get there in a little bit.
We'll get there. From here, I want to start with crazy that we got the Kodai Senga news that he was just going to start all of a sudden.
What?
That was awesome. That was awesome. They obviously wasn't going to go long, so it was kind of like a piggyback thing with Peterson, which was great. Worked out for them. He looked good. One bad pitch to Schwarber. I mean, it was 96, top of the zone. Schwarber doesn't care. And that was so fun. I mean, I know they lost, but Philly fans, that was pretty cool. So he comes in, he looks good. And then you have to give credit to Wheeler, obviously. 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, 9 Ks, 4 walks. I think you have to mention the shadows because everybody was mentioning the shadows. I got a quote here from JD Martinez. And I thought this is pretty cool. We was talking about Wheeler. He said, you could see it, especially with the shadows early on. It's just like, dude, this guy's throwing airplanes up there. I never heard that
Mm.
expression before. The
He's had a
balls were
couple quotes.
taking off every which way. I was like, that, I love that.
Did you see?
Airplanes just taking
Did you
off.
see his suck quote the other day?
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
it was a little intense. It was a little talking baseball, if we're being
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah,
Um,
he goes, he says, it's like, good luck. We just got him out of the game. We got to find a way to get him out because the way he was throwing the ball, he was just unhittable. And it really did seem that way. There's some stats out there. Go check them out. Wheeler's 2 point whatever ERA is the third lowest minimum 10 starts in postseason history. Like this guy is as real of deal as there is, and he might finish second in the Cy Young this year only because Chris Sale won the Triple Crown. Mets, the Mets, had him.
sure did.
Let him go. People thought the Phillies were crazy to sign him to that first deal that he got. Mind you, he already got another deal. Um, he is quietly top three dominant pitchers in the game.
Yeah, and the Mets get a lot of crap for that. We should give like every team more crap for that.
Every
Yeah,
team.
he was a free agent. Like he's from Georgia. And Braves probably could have. Anyone could have and wanted to sign that guy. Dude, I was again. It feels like these days are 3 days in one. Reliving that eighth inning, because Alvarez.
Yeah, that's the thing, Jake. We can skip innings 2 through 7 because nothing happened.
And hey, as much as Wheeler is getting snaps, David Peterson and Reed Garrett, they held up until that point.
I don't want to count David Peterson as a pen guy because he's not
Right.
necessarily. So
Maybe he is, though.
their bullpen ended up going 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run, while the Phillies pen went 2 innings pitched, 7 hits, 6 runs.
Alvarez gets the single to start it off. And like we just talked about, like, okay, instant vibe change. The bad guy's out of the game. Here we go.
At this point, it's 1-0, people. So they pinch run
Pinch run
for
Bader.
Alvarez, put Bader in. Yeah.
Lindor, 0-2. Fouls off a pitch way out of the zone. Draws the walk. Vientos, 0-2. Ball, singles on the slide.
Great at bat. Great at bat.
Strom comes in, 0-2. Singles on the next pitch. Alonso, 0-2. Sack fly. Iglesias, 0-2. Fouls off 7 balls. Gets a single on the cutter. Man, there's something in the water, dude. And like it's the sick thing with baseball that it can at some point the hose can turn off, but that's insane what they did to the Philadelphia Phillies in the 8th inning of this baseball game. Slight torture for our guy Shelfie.
Question for Mets fans, like, what do you do with Jose Iglesias? Just like he has to come back, right? Like Jeff McNeil signed through 2027. They have a team option. He signed through 26 without that option. 4 years, 50. Good for you, Jeff. What do you do?
Good for you,
What
Jeff.
do you do?
Hey, I've seen Iglesias play every infield position.
You take them both, right?
We can figure it out. Alonso might be out of town. I've heard Vientos might play some first base.
But isn't there another guy,
my
Beatty,
God.
that's supposed to be the guy? I'm just saying, if you had to
You
pick between
figure it
Jeff
out.
McNeil and Jose Iglesias, that's kind of my point here. It's insane to think that like it's almost like a no-brainer right now.
Baseball happens quick, man.
It does happen quick.
That you can figure that out next year. And there's just, I don't know. Juju is what it is. Jesse Winker's a dog. Their closing lineup has Ronald Acuna's little brother playing second base. It's just this hodgepodge. Dude, Senga started this game. What?
Yeah.
He played in one game this year, got hurt, and here he is. And he kind of was like talking about the Phillies. Like, Edwin Diaz doesn't pitch in this game.
What I don't like, Mets, great job. Continue your historic run. You don't need to hear any more from us. You guys continue to do your thing. For the Phillies, what I don't like to hear is after the game, Trey Turner went straight to the cage, which means like I like that. Like you're
Right.
putting some work in, but at the same time, that's not what you want to hear.
Yeah.
If you're a Phillies fan, you want to hear that Trey Turner's in a great headspace and he's feeling himself and he'll be fine tomorrow. Instead, he's got to go into the cage after the game. That's reserved for like when you're just like feeling it, like not feeling it,
Yeah,
feeling it, not feeling it.
I understand what you're saying. It's also Trey Turner hits a broken bat single to start tomorrow's game, and it's like, look at that.
I'm Trey
extra
Turner's
work
biggest
Trey
fan,
Turner
dude.
put
You
in. I
know
know.
I'm Trey Turner's biggest fan. I love that guy. I'm just saying, it's just, dang, man. The
Hey,
The Phillies are so freaking good. So freaking good. But the Mets just have that magic right now, man.
see Jimbo. Tomorrow, Severino Sanchez. Sevy has an interesting playoff history. We obviously saw him bounce back in that Brewers game, but first innings have been a thing for him, and he's going to see Schwarber, Turner, Harper, maybe Castellanos. And Philly, to put in all the work they did to win the East this year and all the snaps we gave them, and Bryce Harper's a good first baseman now and all that, like, there will be no silently into the night. And Sanchez has been incredible. That I think their full bullpen will be ready to go. Somehow Hoffman only threw 13 pitches. Jeez. Every pitch Matt Strahm threw was a strike. 17 for
17 for 17.
What are we
To
doing?
Nimmo,
Bounce
he made
one.
Nimmo look bad on a few sliders and then threw him a heater, and Nimmo's like, thanks.
God, dude, tomorrow's gonna be an electric day. I think it's so much better for baseball playoffs when there's 2 games. Maybe that's dumb, but like to lock.
Maybe we're just feeling it because we've been locked in
I know,
all day
like
long.
right, like I'm double guessing that. Double guessing. But I don't know. For these 2 games to be like, okay. Or actually, no, what it is? I take it back. I want more baseball always. We now have the storylines. We now have the Phillies at home. Philly, like maybe the proudest sports town with this team to defend their home field against these Mets who are just absolute lunatics. And then we have the Dodgers Padres with just a lot of West Coast blood in the water. Tomorrow's going to be a beauty. Anything else here? Or is it time to give those sicko guards the love they deserve?
Yeah, let's do it.
We do it with Booking.com. Any of these cities I just mentioned, Cleveland, Detroit, Philly, LA, San Diego, Kansas City, if you're going to them, book with Booking.com. Booking.yeah, the official accommodations partner of Major League Baseball. Booking.yeah of Major League Baseball. Whatever you're looking for, bed and breakfast. Stayed at a really great bed and breakfast this winter. Recommend, take a chance at some point. Hotels, vacation rentals, resorts, whatever you like in the beautiful United States of America, Booking.com has what you're looking for, even if it's in your baseball rival city. So book today, Booking.com, download the Booking.com app. The vibes are high in Believeland as Issa Bibe for Tanner and the guards, while America's Kitties walked into a full house with Reese, Mary-Kate Olsen, and Tyler Opener Holton. Ramirez gets a call, and then McKinstry takes a fall. It's 1-0 guards. Make it 2 as Josh nailers one. Guardian fans, delete your Lane Thomas tweets. Reese's Pieces as Olsen gets got. Whoop, whoop. 5-0 Cleveland. It's tough to come back from 5-0 when you don't score a run. Bybee to Smith to Heron to Gaddis to Class A. Guards win 7-0 final.
That creepy next door neighbor. You have it. You think you're like, yeah, he's got a creepy vibe, but his lawn's nice. Keeps his lawn nice. Got a dog.
Or know what it is? Like he wears baggy clothes and you think he's kind of scrawny, but then he's got one of those like those obstacle course bodies, like American Ninja Warrior.
Okay.
You're like,
You're like, why are your hands so like strong
right.
and calloused?
And then you get a frisbee stuck in a tree and he just climbs it instantly and you're like, whoa, you move like a spider person in a scary movie.
Then you just notice all the barrels of lye in his backyard, and you're like, wait a second.
This is code for the guards gave the Tigers the business in the first inning today. Hey, a dream game for a sports team having their playoff game. Let's put up 5. I know there was could have been strike 3 on Ramirez, and how much does that change the course of the inning? I get it. McKinstry boofs it.
Did you say ploofs it?
What was that? I said boof. Like Bonzer, your old teammate.
Bonzer.
I know you know
him.
Boof Bonzer.
Yeah, he's interesting.
Again, code for the guards. Put it on him early. Good for Tanner Bybee, getting some playoff juice, 4.2. And then we get to see this Guardians bullpen that, hey, if Tigers fans looking for a spin of like, we got to see him. Did you? Because you didn't see Cade Smith. Yeah, man. Creepy neighbor.
How tall is that guy?
Cade Smith listed 6'5", 230. You want to know the problem with Cade Smith, Trev? He's Canadian. They learn the game different.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
See, he has sticky fingers from birth.
Oh, okay.
Where do you begin, man? First of all, love the nickname Big Christmas. I'm a big fan of that one. That's fun.
It's good.
I think this all started with Stephen Kwan's at bat. You know, obviously, this pitching chaos. I hate that they call it pitching chaos. It's called a bullpen game. That's what it's called.
Right.
And they're like,
okay.
AJ Hinch brings in the right pitchers for the right lanes.
Right.
He's prepared to bring in the right guys, and that's why they're so unpredictable. Like, dude, every team tries to do that. When it's a bullpen game, you're like, hey, this guy matches up against these guys, and this guy matches up with these guys. It's not some foreign concept, dude. Like they just have been really good at it. So I can't stand pitching chaos. I know that's a me thing. Anyways, I think it all started with Stephen Kwan off of Holton. Sinker in off the plate, pulls the hands in, double off the wall. Place goes nuts, sets the tone, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's a huge at bat. Stephen Kwan's been hurt. Comes back last couple of days of the season. He probably loved the bye. He got a little bit more time to, get his stroke back. Awesome. Then you get the Ramirez top spin ground ball down the line. It's really tough play as a third baseman. I will tell people this. That second hop, which that's the one that ate him up, that thing is going to, you can't be square to it. You either gotta open up. Either it's a backhand or it's a forehand. You got to open your body up to read that hop. If you stay square to it, you just can't read that spin well. It's gonna shoot, man. It's exactly what it did. He tried to kind of get it on the side here, but his chest was straight to it. You can't do that. Your eyes can't see that spin, so you have to get on the side of it. That was tough. Here's another thing I had. This is all in the first inning, and then I think the game's over. Naylor, the ground ball in the 4-hole that makes it 2-0. Beebs, can you get that up for me and then pause it as it goes past Torkelson?
Okay.
I don't know what he was doing there. I'm very curious. He could have fielded this. He could have dove for it at least and stopped it. Instead, he didn't. He just like stopped. It almost looked like he was like, oh, the second baseman will be there. And like he almost was like going back towards the base, but that wasn't the case like whatsoever. Naylor ground ball, if you can find it. Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Okay.
We can keep going as long as Beavis is looking for it, but here it is. Just watch it. Try to pause it no, not that one.
No, that's
not that one.
That's the struggle times.
It's okay. We'll keep going on there. Anyways, I agree with you that Bybee was nasty and he's fired up. He was making some really, really good pitches. I think he knew that, like, here it is. Check this out. Watch Torkelson stop. Like, if you can go back, yeah. I don't understand. Like, there's the ball at the cut.
Right
there.
I see what you're saying. Like, you'd think there would.
What's he doing right there?
I'm not saying he gets there, but yeah, it's.
There's at least like a knockdown to be done.
What's he looking at?
I thought that was strange. Whatever it is, okay. Um, here's the other notes that I have on this. 4 hits for the Tigers total, 13 Ks to 2 walks. The Guardians, 5 walks to 8 Ks. And that tells the story of the game right there, man.
Hey, analytics department putting the ball in play helps. Look at the Volpe play in the Yankees game. Like, sure, that goes down as an error. The other team made a mistake, but you made them make a mistake. Putting the ball in play matters. And, I mean, the first inning, the Tigers, they got a couple guys on, and Keith hits one to left. And, on a different day, that turns into runs. David Fry gets the extra insurance runs late, and it's, okay, like, remember him from the first half. If he can catch the postseason juice a little bit, that's another weapon in our creepy neighbors lineup.
If you listened to the pod, you knew it was always Lane Thomas.
It was always
Lane
Thomas.
It was always Lane Thomas. Oh, with a slider or a curveball, he takes that. That was put it at 5-0 in the first. I also have in my notes, well, first of all, Cater Montero. If they're looking for a bright spot for the Tigers, 2 innings pitched, 3 Ks, whatever.
Well, and
told you so.
Reese ends up eating 5, which again in this
that's what I said. Great job
exposure.
eating the innings. Yes, great job by him coming in and doing that. I also have that Rocchio and Jimenez up the middle look like so much fun. Like, dude, when you have like a double play partner that you feel comfortable with, and you just have the timing down, it's so cool to watch, so cool to be a part of. I think those guys, like, I know Rocchio's. I mean, neither of those guys are really like, they're not bat first. That's just not what they're there for.
Right.
Like, make the plays, dude. And watching them turn double plays and just be around each other, it's like, okay, this is like an old school tandem middle infield, and I loved it. It's beautiful, man.
Kind of reminds me of Nelly Fox. The way he...
Okay, I got to get some more Nelly Fox defensive highlights in. I don't know.
No, dude,
Hall of Famer.
Jimenez is nuts. There's plays I watch from him, and his footwork is tantalizing, which, like, that's the last thing that usually happens on a baseball field. And that's where these guards, man, we saw the sickos in their bullpen, and we've seen the sickos defensively, and hey, their lineup is no joke. Kwan is a guy. Ramirez, Naylor. When Lane Thomas is hot, he's hot. Big Christmas is a threat. And let's see where Fry lands. Hey, if you're Detroit, you are the team saying, let's wash it. First inning.
Wash it.
First inning was out.
It's tough to recover from that.
Sure is. But when you have an off day and then the next day you play, you have the bad man on the mound, Skubal. They'll be lined up for that. They'll have a fresh bullpen. Cleveland doesn't see Will Vest, who has been unreal for them on the back end.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say. The Guardians look really good, and they're a problem. And if they get a lead and they hand it to the pen in game 2, I think that's it. Like, I don't, like, if they take down Skubal and they take the first 2 games, that's it. If Detroit wins, and Skubal, like, I believe, like, I think that's their game. We saw him do it to Houston. Detroit is going to be an absolute loony bin if they win that
Cleveland
game
was too.
I know, but it goes into my forming ALDS theory. If Detroit wins game 2 and then pitching chaos in game 3, Detroit's a loony bin and they somehow find a way to win, okay, in this dream world, Detroit will have a home game to win a series and go to the CS. That's juju you just don't want to mess with as a Guardians fan. God, that's going to be another fun one Monday.
We talked about that. Like, I don't want to like schedule 2 wins in for the Tigers each series, but if you have Skubal going for you for 2 games, like, chances are you're going to obviously either win the game or be in it. Like, this is what this guy does. So.
Okay. Oh, if we were doing if this was clickbait, which we are, put Shohei in the thumbnail. Fuck it. So that I just gave my DS theory. even if they win one of those games, if they were to win the next game, win one in Detroit, and they have Skubal for Game 5. Like,
Game 5.
Detroit is sitting in an okay spot that, again, for a wash it playoff game, you can wash this. Cleveland fans who are punching air right now, you have every right to be, because maybe you just go out and
We're the creepy neighbor next door.
Go out and roll them tomorrow. It's a great
who secretly climbs trees and rocks and has calloused hands under baggy clothes.
Anything you got, Big Daddy?
That's it, man.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
It's a good one.
You had a lot of stuff going on today. We all did.
It's a good one. And it's going to be a fun one tomorrow. We're not recording after tomorrow's games. That'll come out Monday morning. We'll get that out for you guys. We love you.
We love you. We love you. Yakin Ball.
Get
Give
out.
us a follow.
Why not? At
Or
Trevor
you don't
Booth.
have to.
Elon
If you don't
Musk.
want to, don't.
Dwayne Johnson.
Elon Musk.
That's Princess Diana.
Wow.
Just trying to say clickable buzzwords here.
Sydney Sweeney.